guys, what is up? Here is a 333,000 mile review of my 2000 Ford F250 7.3 liter Power Stroke diesel. I'm going to go over what the history of this truck, what has been done to it, and what will be done to it. And so we've changed the alternator on this truck. We've changed the power steering pump. We've changed not all, but a few of the injectors. That didn't even really need to be done, but we had it done anyway. We changed the water pump, the radiator, and the starter. We're also going to do the oil cooler soon, because soon I'm moving up to Montana and it gets to like below 0 temperatures where I'm going. So we need the oil cooler resealed because it's leaking from the oil cooler when cold. It really doesn't get cold enough to where that's much of a problem here in Louisiana. But where I'm going, it does get cold enough to where that's a problem. So we're getting that done. So yeah. It's got 333,000 miles. I'm gonna open the hood real quick. I'm also gonna start the truck. I'm gonna start the truck. This engine is nearly 100% stock. Original glow plugs, pretty much original everything aside from a few injectors. The starter has been replaced. The radiator and water pump have also been replaced. We change oil every 5,000 miles. Sometimes I've been changing it lately every 7,500 because I find that it's a little bit easier, but engine runs really good. Yeah. Oh, well, forgot the latch to hood, but we'll do that in just a moment. I'm going to take this truck for a ride. I'm going to talk about the history of this truck and what has all been done to this truck. Just putting my seatbelt on. Now that I've talked about what has been done to this truck and what will be done, I'm going to go over the history of this truck. So my grandfather bought this truck brand new with 14 miles on the odometer. He would tow sometimes up to 30,000 pounds on a gooseneck. Actually, quite often he would tow loads like that. And he would tow over 20,000 on a bumper pull sometimes. He had this truck for 2 years, and then he was going to trade it in, but my dad actually ended up wanting it, so my dad actually got this truck from him. And so yeah, he got this truck, and my dad would use it to tow his 36 Contender. And my dad actually in 2012 got a 2012 F250, which he would also use to tow his 36 Contender. However, he would still use this truck from time to time, and he would let his friends borrow this truck a lot. So he would let his friends borrow this truck a lot. And so his friends borrowed this truck a lot from time to time. And so yeah, And then in 2023, when I started driving this truck. And so, yeah, I put about 40,000 miles on it since then. And it's got, I put 40,000 miles on it since I started driving it. And so, yeah, I got it with 296,000 on it. My dad, when he would tow his 36 Contender with this truck, fully loaded with everything on the boat weighed, when you added the weight of the boat itself, the weight of the trailer, the weight of everything on the boat, and the weight of all the fuel, the boat weighed 13,000 to 14,000 pounds. And this truck would tow that pretty easily. One thing I gotta say is the 7.3, in my opinion, is the best diesel ever. I know some people might say the 12 valve is the best, but I think the 7.3 is better because a stock 7.3 generates more power than a 12 valve. I mean, the 12 valve's not bad by any means. The 12 valve is outstanding, but the 7.3 I think is just better. And so, yeah. But in my opinion, nothing beats a 7.3 or 12 valve. And I'm a Ford guy, but nothing beats a 7.3 or 12 valve. I don't care what these Duramax guys say. Nothing beats a 7.3 or 12 valve. These are the best diesels ever. Some Chevy guys might say the LBZ is the best, but I disagree. I think the 7.3 is better. The LBZ might generate a little bit more power, but it's not as reliable as the 7.3. The 7.3 is overall just the best. The 12 valve Cummins is also pretty good though, but I'm just gonna take this truck for a drive. Waiting for the road to be clear. This has been an absolutely great truck. And so, yeah. One thing this truck did used to have at one point is it used to actually have a secondary fuel tank that was put on it a long time ago, but it quit working right, so my dad actually took it off. But I plan to put another one on there, so I tow with this truck from time to time, but I use this truck a lot to haul scrap metal. When I find like scrap metal a lot, or when it's given to me, I'll haul it a lot of the times to the scrap yard with this truck because the scrap market's been really good lately. It went down just a little bit. It went from like $245 a ton to $215 a ton, but that's definitely way better than it used to be. I mean, a while back in like September of 2024, it was only $140 a ton, so it's way better than it used to be. The market has definitely gone up quite a bit. So, but yeah, I'll haul like scrap water heaters, dryers, washing machines, refrigerators. I just haul any type of scrap I can get. I'm considering maybe buying junk cars potentially and hauling them to the scrap yard. But I really don't think I'm going to do that. I think just for now, I don't know what I'm going to do really. Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to become a plumber or a mechanic or something like that. I don't know. It just depends. Probably a plumber though. but I'll definitely use this truck a lot. The 7.3 is the best, in my opinion. I'm gonna get on I-10 in just a minute. Hopefully there's not a ton of traffic, which it's a Saturday, so there shouldn't be much. There's never any traffic on Saturdays, but this was, just depends. But yeah. I know some people will put newer mirrors on these trucks. They'll put the 2010s mirrors on these trucks, or sometimes even the 05 to 07 grills. I kind of prefer the original mirrors and the original grills and lights because, I don't know, I don't like putting newer parts on an older truck. That's just me. I like the way the stock parts look, and that's why I'm going to be keeping these mirrors, because they still have really good visibility. Like, I can see out of them pretty well. The blind spot mirror allows you to see pretty much the whole truck and trailer because they got blind spot mirrors. Yeah. Some of these came with the smaller mirrors, which those are interesting, but yeah. Oh geez, this guy's going slow. One of the biggest pet peeves of mine is people going slow on the interstate. Like, this guy's only going 40. Like, what's the point? There's no point in going this slow. Oh, well, there's traffic. Right when I say there's going to be no traffic, all right, I'm going to pause the video until there's no traffic. But of course, right when I say there's no traffic, there ends up being traffic. All right, guys, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was just a bunch of cars, not a bunch of traffic. So yeah, this truck drives great on the interstate. One thing I just don't get, like I said earlier, is people who go under the speed limit on the interstate. Like, I can somewhat understand if you're towing a really big load and the speed limit's like 75 or 80 and you can really only go 65, then I can understand. But if you don't have anything behind you and there's no reason to go under the speed limit, like, there just isn't. Like I said, if you got a really big load behind you and you're towing something huge and the speed limit's like 80 or 75 or something really high, then I can understand. But I just don't get it, generally speaking. Like some people might say, oh, you have more control over your vehicle. It just, speed limits are there for, like, it's just like, there's no reason to go under the speed limit. If any, it's less safe to go under the speed limit than it is to go over the speed limit, because there's a higher chance that someone's gonna rear end you. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why people do that, generally speaking. And it's one of my biggest pet peeves. call this truck the big brown truck or the old brown truck. Usually we call it the big brown truck. That's what it's been called literally pretty much throughout my childhood. We always called it that. There's this guy in a Cummins, a Dodge Ram with the Cummins. Guy's probably going like 75 or something, I don't know, maybe 73, I don't know how fast he's going. He's got a way safe hitch on the back, which I'm not really a huge fan of those. I prefer steel hitches over aluminum hitches. That's just my opinion. I actually have two hitches for my truck. I have the regular tri-ball, which is good for about 10,000 pounds, and then I actually have a solid shank hitch with a 16,000 pound capacity that I bought, and it's got a 14,000 pound capacity ball on it. Towing capacity on this truck is like 12,500 pounds for a bumper pull hitch. Get off right here and basically turn around pretty much. Alright, well the light was already green to get on the interstate, so got the Duramax right here. This guy's going a little bit slower. Wait, is that us? That's a singular truck. That's not even a trailer. Oh yeah, that is. Oh, he's also got a Duramax. That's an LBZ, it looks like, or an LLY, either of the two. I don't know which one it is. They look, yeah, that. And then there's a Cummins diesel. It's either a 5.9 or a 6.7. Probably a 5.9, though, maybe a 6.7. That body style, 5.9 and 6.7. I think we're getting more than that. Generally, I'm getting more than that when it says. I've seen a lot of times where it says like 16.2 and I've gotten 17 miles a gallon. Great. Runs pretty much like it's brand new. Alright, nobody coming this way. I mean, it's an all-way stop sign, so whoever gets here first has the right of way. So if I got there first and someone else got on those, they're after me, I'd have the right of way. So yeah. Hopefully I get to this light before it turns red. I'm not going to, dang it. All right, guys. Well, I'm back home. Basically, I got back home. Just thought I would show you. I also cleaned out my truck bed a little bit, but that's the gooseneck hitch I have. So that's a homemade gooseneck hitch. My grandfather had that homemade. Like, it was welded together. Basically, they took pieces of steel plate, you can kind of see it, welded them together, and they put that weird hinge thing that the old gooseneck hitches had. And so, yeah, and then that's the bumper pull hitch that I have on there. This is the spare tire. I keep it in here. So, yeah, I got a random piece of rebar in there. But I cleaned the bed of my truck out a little bit, and so, yeah. So, yeah, it's been a great truck. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching.